Kael Dominor pressed his boot into the rubble and felt the building shift beneath him, a groan of concrete surrendering to gravity, the slow exhalation of a structure that had given up. Ash drifted past his visor and gray curtains. The colony capital of Tessera was still burning, and the fires painted the smoke overhead in shades of copper and rust, turning the starless sky into something that looked like the inside of a furnace cooling down. He had ordered the bombardment 6 hours ago. 17 kinetic rounds from the Dominor cruiser, Wrath Ascendant, each one placed with surgical precision on military targets. Communications arrays, shield generators, the governor's compound, minimal civilian casualties. That was the doctrine. That was his signature. But doctrine does not account for how fire spreads. The streets below were cratered and dark. Power lines swung in the thermal updrafts, sparking against nothing. Somewhere to the east, a water main had burst, and the hiss of steam rising through rubble carried across the silence like breathing. Kael stood motionless on the rooftop observation point, his prosthetic hand resting on the railing, matte silver fingers perfectly still while everything around him moved. Wind, ash, ember. Commander Wraith's voice crackled through the field channel. Wraith said, "Governor's been pulled from the compound wreckage. Alive. Barely." Kael did not turn. "Interrogation wing," he said. "I will speak with him within the hour." The colony command center had been reinforced against exactly this kind of assault, with thick walls, buried power systems, and redundant comms. The upper floors were gone, sheared clean by the 4th kinetic round, but the ground floor held. Emergency lighting cast the space in dim red, and Governor Talus sat in the center of it, bound to a chair that had once been his own. His hands shook. His coat was torn and blackened. When he saw Kael's silhouette fill the doorway, something in his expression collapsed past fear into a kind of exhausted recognition. The look of a man who had always known this moment would arrive. Kael said, "Your colony was given terms. You rejected them." Talus whispered, "We couldn't comply." "You chose not to comply. House Dominor does not distinguish between inability and refusal." Talus's red-rimmed eyes lifted. He said, "You don't understand what's beneath us." The word beneath landed differently than Kael expected. Not a metaphor, not rhetoric. Talus was looking at the floor. Kael said, "Explain." Talus replied, "The colony founders found it when they drilled the foundation. A chamber, sealed, not human. They built the colony on top of it because they were afraid to leave it unguarded and more afraid to report it, because reporting it meant a great house would come, and whatever was down there would become a weapon." Talus paused, and when he spoke again, his voice was barely a whisper. Talus said, "We rebelled because your father's garrison was getting close. We were not fighting for independence. We were fighting to keep that door shut." The stairway spiraled down through rough-hewn stone, past the colony's foundation level, into bedrock. Kael descended with 4 soldiers and Commander Wraith. The walls changed as they went deeper, concrete giving way to something darker, smoother, colder. Architect alloy. The temperature dropped. Condensation beaded on the alien metal like sweat on skin that should not be alive. Kael's prosthetic hand began to twitch, not the deliberate articulation of its servo motors. Something else, a vibration that started in the fingertips and migrated up through the wrist joint, as if the metal were responding to a frequency below human hearing. Kael flexed the hand. It obeyed, but slowly, reluctantly, like a dog that hears its name called by a stranger. Wraith said, "Sir, your hand." Kael replied. I'm aware. The sealed door at the base of the stairway was 3 meters tall and featureless. Dark metal without seam, hinge, or handle. The soldiers tried cutting tools. Nothing. Breaching charges. Nothing. Kael stepped forward and placed his prosthetic palm flat against the surface. The door opened. Not mechanically. It dissolved, the metal retracting into itself like water absorbing into sand. And what lay beyond was silence so complete that Kael felt it press against his eardrums like a change in altitude. The vault was vast. Obsidian floor stretching into darkness, walls of dark metal etched with interlocking geometries that shifted when he tried to focus on them. Not moving exactly, but rearranging his perception of their stillness. The air was cold and absolutely clean. No dust, no decay. Millennia of sealed darkness, and the chamber smelled of nothing at all. At the center, on a raised plinth of the same obsidian, sat a shard of crystallized light. It was roughly the size of a human forearm, and it pulsed with a slow amber-white rhythm that Kael recognized in his chest before his mind could name it. A heartbeat. Not his, older, patient. His prosthetic hand reached for it. Kael had not told his hand to move. He watched it extend, silver fingers spreading, the servos making adjustments he had not programmed, the metal surface rippling with hairline fractures that sealed themselves as quickly as they formed. The hand was restructuring itself, adapting. The matte silver surface was developing geometric patterns that looked, with horrible specificity, like the ritual scars on his scalp. He could have pulled back. He did not. The moment his prosthetic fingers closed around the shard, the vault ignited. Not with light, but with information. A cascade of images flooding through the prosthetic's neural interface directly into his visual cortex. The celestial throne chamber, impossibly vast, its geometric walls rotating in configurations that hurt to perceive. A voice, not words but a structural vibration, a frequency shaped like language, calling a name he did not recognize. And then, a flash of something intimate. Dark brown skin, a spiraling scar running from behind an ear to a collarbone, pale gold eyes opening. Kael staggered. The shard's pulse was synchronized with his heartbeat now, or his heartbeat had synchronized with the shard. He could not tell which had yielded to which. He closed his eyes. In the vault's absolute silence, with no one watching his face, his expression was not the grimace. For the first time in years, the plasma burn and the tension released, and what remained was something raw and unguarded, grief or wonder, or the place where those two meet. Wraith waited at the vault entrance. She had not entered. She watched Kael emerge with both hands at his sides, and she noticed, because Wraith noticed everything, that the prosthetic's surface had changed. The matte silver now carried faint geometric tracery that had not been there before. She said nothing. The holo projector in the colony's surviving basement cast Kael Dominor at 3/4 scale. Still massive, still armored in ceremonial black and crimson, the signet ring on his right hand pulsing with the faint light of bloodline telemetry. Thesson said, "Report." Kael stood at attention. His prosthetic hand, reshaped and carrying the fragment concealed within its restructured housing, hung at his side. Kael said, "Colony pacified. Governor in custody. Infrastructure neutralized per standing orders." Thesson's eyes held on his son for 3 seconds longer than routine required. The flat assessment, the predator's patience. Then Thesson asked, "And beneath the colony?" The question landed like a blade laid on a table. Thesson had known, or suspected. He had sent Kael to this specific world, assigned this specific mission. and now he was asking about what lay beneath with the careful precision of a man who already knew the answer and wanted to hear his son say it. Kael felt the signet ring's telemetry pulse its signal. Somewhere in the adamant spire, a readout was displaying his heart rate, his stress markers, his blood chemistry. His father was reading his body from across the stars. Kael said, "Rubble, foundation damage, nothing of strategic value." The lie was the first he had ever told his father. Thesson studied him. The silence lasted 4 seconds. Then Thesson said, "Good. Return to the spire when the garrison is established." The projection dissolved. Kael stood in the red-lit basement, alone, and looked down at his left hand. The geometric patterns on its surface pulsed faintly in the same amber-white rhythm as the shard, a heartbeat that was not his own, written into the metal his father had given him as both apology and chain. He flexed the hand. It obeyed, but it took a half-second longer than it should have, as if considering whether to comply. Kael walked out into the ruins of Tessera. The fires had dimmed to embers, and the ash had settled into a gray film over everything. The streets, the craters, the dark hulls of the dropships on the plaza. His soldiers moved in quiet efficiency around him, securing positions, establishing the garrison that would hold this broken place in House Dominor's name. He stopped at the edge of the plaza. The smoke had thinned enough to reveal a handful of stars, cold and distant above the wreckage. The hand at his side pulsed. The shard inside it pulsed. Somewhere in the galaxy, a throne sat empty in a chamber of shifting geometries, waiting for blood it recognized. Kael closed his eyes. The wind moved the ash around his boots. The embers guttered and flared. He stood perfectly still, a weapon that had, for the first time, chosen not to report what it had found. The hand that his father severed, the hand his father replaced. The hand that now held a secret older than every war Thesson Dominor had ever won. It pulsed once more. Kael did not open his eyes. He listened to a heartbeat that was not his, and he did not report.